Welcome to the home of our dreams!
Wait a second, is this canon? Hello and welcome all you ecstatic equine enthusiasts. So I just watched the first 4 episodes of Tell Your Tale, and my immediate thought upon seeing the Crystal Bright House was, is this canon? I will explain why I asked that in a bit, but first we gotta look at the show and its contents, which may be able to help us determine whether or not it is in fact canon. So, story. For 5-minute episodes, I thought they managed to handle the stories really well. I honestly thought that we were going to get Pony Life 2.0, where the stories are moving so fast they're likely comprised of 98% caffeine and sugar. As for the new voice actors, I'm going to be judging their performance based on 2 factors. 1 is how accurately do they mimic the voices of the original cast, and 2, how much personality do they convey with their voices. And just gonna say it now, all but one of them managed to meet that second factor, so already looking pretty good. However, I didn't think that all of them sounded super accurate to the original cast. Sunny, I thought sounded pretty accurate, but she seemed to be lacking in energy, emotion, and character in her voice, which isn't good for the main character. If getting a bit more feeling put into her voice causes her to sound a little less accurate to the original, I'm actually okay with that. Izzy! Not the best. Her voice sounds too high, and while Izzy is high in energy, it sounds more like this actor is trying to channel her inner Pinkie Pie. Zip sounded decent. I could tell a difference in her voice about half the time, but that may have just been because I was listening for it.
Waiting to snare you in my trap.
Pip? Okay. I could definitely hear a difference there. Still pretty close though. And finally, background pony. And finally, Hitch. While I think the voice actor did an excellent job conveying his personality and character, he did have the most noticeably different voice in my opinion. As for the characters themselves, I can't say much has changed. Sunny, despite being the main character, didn't really have much character. Hitch was barely given any screen time, so he didn't really have a chance to show any new sides to him. Izzy doesn't just sound a lot like Pinkie Pie now, but she also acts a lot more like her than she did in the movie, which makes her feel more like a cheap knockoff and less of her own character. Pip still feels like a 2-dimensional social media star who does nothing but selfie, 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 hashtag gorgeous! Zip, however, I actually thought had a little more development, mainly in regards to how much attention she receives as a princess. While Pip is constantly looking for attention from her fans, Zip is actively avoiding them. Pip keeps trying to get Zip to enjoy the princess life, but she is not having it. I also have to say that I'm glad to see these two when they're actually getting along. In the movie, all they did together was butt heads and argue. Not a fan of the bean mouths in the animation. Or really, the character designs in general. The body dimensions are kinda wonky, having legs that are thinner at the bottom, wider at the top, knees so high they could be hips, and Sunny's rainbow highlight in her mane. Honestly, I prefer the solid purple color over this. The rainbow just feels like it's too much, and it's screaming, "Buy our toys!" Also, we were told that the reason cutie marks are single-sided in G5 is because they don't look good on both sides in 3D animation. Well then, how do you explain this? Now, there's something I've been wondering ever since the show was announced, but even more so now that I've actually watched it. Is this canon? It seems like the series is setting up episodes for the main series that's going to be on Netflix, with things like the Crystal Bright House, and every pony moving in with Sunny. Well, except Hitch. So, it really is hard to say whether or not at this point if it is in fact canon. Overall, this show was okay. I was expecting trash, but what we got was a moderately edible, almost out-of-date salami. Also, seeing as how all the ponies live in Maritime Bay now, my guess is that this will essentially become the new Ponyville. I only wish we could have seen this place back when it was Horseshoe Bay. What? You didn't know it was Horseshoe Bay? The location never visited in G4 along the edge of Equestria? Then clearly you haven't seen my video where I find the locations in a new generation on the Friendship is Magic map. So if you're interested in that, click here to check it out.